Haji Mamashiel. Hello, welcome to the Japanese University Elite Force. Jijai no Zohan will carry the Nihongo Daigaku here. SAA. And I'm going to here discuss this document here that now says default rights granted to citizens of the United States of America to defend and retain their voice due to the First Amendment. And I'm going to go through these sections here, which are actually really lengthy because every terminology is, well, they like to make everything complicated. When you say one notice of advisory against suppression of the First Amendment of the United States of America for corporations, including YouTube Limited Liability Corporation, and any agents, individuals, or groups of individuals pledging allegiance to YouTube Limited Liability Corporation or others, while refusing to pledge allegiance to the United States of America without obtaining necessary powers due to due process of law for the courts of the United States of America. 2. This includes premeditated courses of actions against individuals through specific, extensive explanations or loosely worded calls to actions that can be determined as threats. Usage of terminologies such as risk, trademark, copyright, legal, known public figure, non-direct questions that are deceptive in nature, purposed to sabotage an individual's default defenses and declarations to remain innocent of proclaimed charges that weren't reviewed by the courts of the United States of America, relaying legal threats in an attempt to gain access to protected information, such as location, name, credentials of your position or identity, information used to access networks and electronic systems, by forcing a user to provide the information to you through the display of deceptive system messages from a network systems. 3. Being in a corporation or governmental system does not allow you to brute force services, products, operations, or force verbal declarations for court recordings. By repeatedly asking to enforce a service, product, operation, or harass a verbal declaration out of defendants within or outside of court, especially after a defendant denied and or rejected your offers. That includes the Baker Act. Holding defendants hostage and asking the same question 4 or more times they denied is subject to corporations and governmental systems being held accountable or charged. Asking the same question 16 times being unnecessary requires a legal compensation. Asking the same question 100 times or over may require a more dramatic legal compensation. That meant you couldn't ask the same question 4 more times in order to force a person into medications that they've denied. You will not forcefully medicate people after they've denied your medications. They will deny it. 4. Being in a corporation or governmental system does not allow you to remain within 3 feet of a defendant for extended periods of time without adequate reason. 5. Being in a corporation or governmental system does not allow you to address defendants as other than human beings. Attacks based on crushing a personnel's mental or status aren't allowed, even if they're purely verbal. Attacks that can be seen as a cost of forcing a personnel to take offers they wouldn't have normally taken, especially within enclosed quarters with no exits and on officials. These rights are granted by default to hate crime victims per Article 1, Section 16 of the Constitution and Chapter 960. 6. Being in a corporation does not elevate you above the law or the due process of the courts. You cannot use your name, status, currency, or social status to crush others without probable cause, especially if the individuals you're against are calling for the due process of law from the courts of the United States of America. Default rights granted to citizens of the United States of America to defend and retain their voice through the First Amendment. Americans have rights to partake in legal action against brute force silence with no reasonable means through an electronic network for network systems, URLs, and web pages throughout the World Wide Web, trademarks, and from copyright holders or publishers. They have the rights to partake in legal action. It is not a one-sided thing. You have to follow the due process of law. Those legally declared dangerous, the Americans have the rights to bear arms against, including those that are trespassing, corrupt militia, those with weaponry, or any material that can be used in combat offensively. Any material that can be used in combat. That includes the networks and computers, or offensively against others, directly or indirectly leading to their death through the usage of inflicted harm or violence, economic or financial collapse arising as a result of their actions, whether long-term over a period of several months, and visible throughout the course of 1 year, each event, or short-term. Declaration of the existence of the Japanese University for Jigai no Zohan will carry here. Let's go up. Notice of rights to return defense, legal, verbal, and or network-based infrastructure defenses against established corporations, individuals, groups of individuals, creators, artists, musicians, publishers, trademark holders, copyright holders, and those utilizing brute force to cause illegal judgments without the due process of law from the courts to be verbally or electronically declared through any network, system, infrastructure, invention, machine, computer, trademarks, and or copyrighted material. You have to pass through the court. Notice of resistance against counterintelligence attacks and demoralization attacks, including sabotaging of education and access to reproduction of the opposite sex. Japanese University Jigai no Zohan Jigai no Zohan Nihon University. Alright. Operations briefing in.
Gani no te. むせびなく。しかし。しかし。